Hello, boys and girls. It is time to learn about some numbers. Let's do some math together. I am so excited to learn some numbers today. So, boys and girls, can you count with me from 1? I know that it's been a while and I know you can count to 100, but I want to show you the number we're learning today. So, let's start counting together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, counting with me, 5, 6, oops, let me move my head, there we go, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the next number is the number we're going to talk about today. What comes after the number 10? It is the number 11. There it is. And that is the number we are going to speak about today, the number 11. And it looks like this. The number 11 is made with 2 ones. And when we draw it, we start at the top and we draw a straight line down. We come to the next line, start at the top and draw a straight line down. And that is how we make the number 11. Now, what does the number 11 look like? Well, I am going to show you 11 counters. Now, I'm not just going to draw counters on my paper. I am going to draw my counters into a tens frame so that I can show you what it looks like in a tens frame. So here I have 2 tens frames. This is my first one. Let me show you. There it is. That's my first tens frame. And then a second tens frame. Here it is. Now, sometimes we only use one tens frame, but for the number 11, we need to use 2 tens frames. So let's start adding 11 counters, and I'm going to need you to count with me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we go to the next line. Here we go. 6, 7, 8. We're not there yet. Keep going. 9, 10. And let me go to the next line, 11. Now I have 11 counters. Notice, boys and girls, that I filled up this whole tens frame. There's no more space in that tens frame. And I have 10 counters in that tens frame. The second tens frame, I did not fill it up. I only used one space, one counter in that tens frame. And here's what my tens frames look like. One full tens frame and one tens frame with just one counter in it. And this is how I show my number 11 on the tens frames. Now I want to use these tens frames to show you a number sentence. Now my first tens frame is full. So how many counters do I have on just this side, just these tens, this one tens frame? Well, if it's full, then it must be the number 10. Now look at this tens frame. How many counters do I have on just this side? 1. Very good. So now I'm going to add that to my number 10. Plus 1. There it is. 10 plus 1. So what is 10 plus 1? 10 counters on this side plus 1 more on this side. Well, I can count by counting on from 10 because I know I have 10 here. So let me see. 10, 11. 10 plus 1 equals 11. And that's our number of the day. 10 plus 1 equals 11. Can you read that number sentence with me? Here we go. 10 plus 1 equals 11. Great job, boys and girls. And there's my number sentence right there at the bottom. 10 plus 1 equals 11. Now we are going to do something special with these numbers. We are going to add them into something called a number bond. And let me show you what that looks like. This is a number bond. A number bond has one circle at the top. This one has a big circle at the top. And two small circles at the bottom. And we connect them with these lines here. Now, the big number goes on the very top. So here I have a 10, I have a 1, and I have an 11. This big number right here goes at the very top of my number bond. Let me show you. Here it is. Okay, so 11 goes at the top of my number bond. That is my whole number. And in these smaller circles, I'm going to add the parts of 11. These numbers are the parts of 11. 10 and 1 make 11. 11 is 10 and 1. And that is how I make a number bond for the number 11. Now it's time for you to try. So I want you to get a piece of paper and a pencil. Any piece of paper will do, or if you have a notebook, you can use a notebook. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and get my pencil and my piece of paper and pencil out. So here it is right here. There's my piece of paper and pencil. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my number 11. And I do that by drawing two ones like this. 1, 1 from top to bottom. And there's the number 11. Great work. Now the second thing I want you to do is I want you to draw 10 counters. But I want you to try to draw them in a tens frame. If it helps you, you can try to draw a tens frame like Mrs. Savage is doing, or you can ask your mom or dad to help you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4 lines down and 1 big line across. Okay, now I can add my counters. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I need one more, 11. Now I have 11 counters. Okay, the next thing I want you to do is draw a number sentence. How many counters are in the first part? How many counters are in my first tens frame? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 counters in my first tens frame. So now I'm going to write the number 10. Then how many more counters am I adding to the number 10? How many more do I need to put? If you said 1, you're right. So I'm going to add one more, plus 1. Okay, when I add 10 plus 1, how many counters do I have all together? If you don't remember, you can go back and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 counters. 10 plus 1 equals 11. One more job for you, boys and girls. The last thing I want you to do is draw a number bond. So let me show you how to draw a number bond. First, you need a big circle at the top. And then you're going to draw one line diagonal to the left, one line diagonal to the right, and add another circle on the end of each line. And that is how you draw a number bond. Now let's add the numbers inside the number bond. Okay, I need to put my big number in the top circle. My big number, my whole number, is the number 11. So I'll write that first. 11. My two smaller numbers, the two parts, go into the bottom circles. So I'll add the 10 and I'll add the 1. And there's my number bond. Boys and girls, this is what your paper should look like. And that's what I want you to practice today, making the number 11. I'm so proud of you, boys and girls. Have a great day. Bye.